It has been a long time since Darkseid had the dominant level 3 Datacron set. This one will be huge for them, and I'm looking forward to it. Come check it out. What is going on, Knights of Vex, and welcome to the Datacron Set 24 review, where today we're going to talk about every single thing about the new Datacron set, including the stats, the level 3s, the 6s, the 9s, the focus Datacrons, all going to be discussed today. And then at the end, I got an awesome infographic for you as a little cheat sheet for all of the Datacrons and which teams I think they should go towards, and the level 9s you should go for as well, as also the order of the focus Datacrons, in my opinion, of what you should go for. That is going to be available in my Discord in the infographics section. So if you guys want to check that out, come join my Discord and you'll see it all there. But today, all about the Datacrons and the stats. And not disappointing, but definitely a downgrade from what we're used to, especially the focus Datacrons. Just getting that off the bat, like, it's definitely a little bit of a downgrade than what we're used to. But we're going to head right into it, guys. Just want to point out, if you guys do enjoy my content and you like these Datacron videos and you want to support me further, please leave a like on the video, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. That is the best way to support me. Let's get this video out to the whole community and see how big we can get it out there. So I do appreciate it, guys. Let's go right into it. We're going to jump right into the stats, guys. So going to the next slide, we got to talk about the stats. And in my opinion, there's many strong ones, and there's none in the bad, in my opinion. I think everything's going to have a use, but the ones all in the strong column, I think, will outweigh everything in the decent. Starting with Armor Pen. Armor Pen is one of my favorite stats on Datacrons. It helps you get through those high defensive teams and helps you just blow through them as quickly as possible. So I'm really happy Armor Pen is back on the set, and it is very high scaling. So I'm a big fan of the Armor Pen. Crit damage is always very nice to have, as well as offense. The more damage you do, the more you're going to get rid of them quicker and more dangerous on defense. Love the damage stats. Gotta throw in health and protection. A lot of teams benefit from extra health, extra protection. You got a JML team where if you have extra protection on them, his coin ability is going to be doing way more damage. So I do like protection on this set. Health, you have an unaligned force user Datacron. You get a high health cron with Ray. That's going to cause some issues. So health is another very important stat. And then tenacity and potency all have a use. Always needed. I always liked having at least a very high potency cron for the season. Like, for example, I love using a high potency cron with my Sith Empire against Grey Mothers to ensure I land those debuffs. High tenacity on a certain team can shut down teams that have high potency. I just want to throw that out there. They're not a useless stat. They're just not as strong as the ones on the left column. So that is going to wrap up the stats, guys. We're now going to move on to the level 3s. Starting out with light side level 3s. Definitely not as strong as they were in the previous sets, but that doesn't mean they're completely useless. I've listed 3 in this category, but they're very specific uses. The clear, dominant winner for majority of your teams is going to be the first one listed. At the start of the encounter, the weakest ally gains 20% turn meter for each light side ally. That can shut down a bunch of counters. So, and it doesn't just associate with light side characters. It's saying the weakest ally, not the weakest light side ally. So if you have a mixture of light side and dark side characters on your team, that could generate turn meter to even a dark side ally. So I just want to throw that out there. Got to keep an eye on the wording. It's a very strong mechanic. You could practically, if you have a full light side team, give your weakest character 100% turn meter, because that is huge. So if you have like a Zori resistance team modded and Zori is the weakest on the team, she can go first and land a bunch of mass assists with exposes. That's pretty dangerous. That's pretty strong mechanic. So you're going to see a bunch of cool stuff with this. Going to shut down some counters. Definitely dominant. The second one, where if you don't want a team that has turn meter generation, you want them to be somewhat on the slower side or they go second, your next best bet is going to be whenever a light side ally uses a special ability, they gain evasion up, health steal up, and health up for 2 turns. First up, evasion up is a very annoying buff. Not being able to hit your opponent is dangerous, especially on a Rey team. Like, let's say if you have a Jedi training Rey and she has built-in evasion on her mastery, or an Ezra where he is gaining evasion up with his crazy evasion to begin with. That's annoying. That's extremely annoying. Get ready to see Rey with this one. I think Rey's going to be very good with it. She benefits from health steal, health up, and evasion up. Those are great buffs for a Rey squad. So that's a very dangerous cron. Expect this to be the second most light side cron you see. The third one I like to list, and it's always going to be in third place for the strong, is going to be the first time each light side ally is defeated, remaining light side allies gain 15% offense and 20 speed stacking for the rest of the encounter. This is strictly for defense. This is not associated with offense at all. Just want to make that a note for you. That cron is not for offense. So if you have enough roster depth and Datacron depth where you can afford multiple different Datacrons, where you can maybe, all right, I want to use this team on offense and I want to use a Terminator cron. Or if I want to change it up in the season and put them on defense, that stacking offense and speed are very important and strong. Because think about it, your opponent needs to win. They need to take out characters. The more characters you take out, the more buffs you're giving to the other characters. So that's why I like it for defense. I think it's a strong Datacron for certain teams. Don't underestimate it. The next one I'm going to list in the decent category is going to be at the beginning of their turn, light side allies have a 25% chance to dispel all debuffs on themselves. It's not super, it will never outweigh the other ones, but it's very situational. There are certain counters where if they do get that cleanse off and they take a turn, it could shut down your Terminator train or your counter, but it's a 1 in 4 chance. That's why it's not in the strong category. If it was higher, if it was like 50% chance or a 75% chance, then it would be considered strong. But 1 in 4 chance is nothing crazy high, but it does add a degree of RNG to shut down certain counters, so that's why I'm putting it in the decent. And the last one, guys, the only one in the bad category, is whenever light side allies are evaded by an enemy, that ally gains accuracy up for 2 turns, and they inflict evasion down for 2 turns on that enemy, which cannot be evaded. Very situational. Even if you were to get it against a high evasion team, I don't think it's ever going to outweigh the other ones we have listed in the top 3 for the strong. So I'm putting it in the bad. It shouldn't be the go-to for the light side, and that's honestly my opinion on the Datacron. But that's going to wrap up the light side level 3, guys. We're going to go to now dark side, the fun stuff. Dark side, finally, about time they're getting some love. It's been a while, and I'm really happy that they're actually getting some love this set, because it's pretty good for them. The clear winner, the strongest level 3 on the set, is going to be at the start of the encounter, dark side allies gain 15% max health protection for each other dark side ally. That is massive for so many teams. You have a Malgus team, you have the new Pirate King Hano Onaka, you got Lord Vader clones. So many dark side teams are going to benefit from this. This is going to be the go-to for almost every single one of your teams. Best level 3 of the set, it's your go-to. You have to get it because a lot of them are pretty bad, to be honest. That's the one you want to go for every single team. The second one, which is still very good, it's just getting outshined by the other one, but it's still very good. Whenever dark side allies use a basic ability, they gain crit chance up, crit damage up, and offense up for 2 turns. Those are all offensive buffs. Anything to help you land a crit, hit harder, is very good. So I've used this a bunch with Great Mothers against Ahsoka. Helps ensure my spirit does enough damage. I can get the one shot on Ezra. So it's very nice to have in certain situations. Imperial Troopers, they're not really used anymore, but they do a lot of basics. There are certain teams that use a lot of basics in their kit. Like, I love this cron on Great Mother specifically. So you definitely want to get a couple of these for certain teams. But again, the majority is going to be the light side max, or the dark side max health and protection 3. Now, there's a lot of bad ones. There's 3 in the bad. Whenever a dark side ally gains tenacity up, they gain protection up, 10% stacking for 2 turns. Horrible. Not going to come into play. Not a lot of dark side characters provide tenacity up. It's so situational and just never going to be worth it. Next one. This probably is the worst one of the entire set. Whenever dark side allies inflict a debuff, they get 2% crit chance stacking for 3 turns. Not going to make a difference any time ever. It's useless. I'm not a big fan of it. And this one's very close to being the worst as well. Whenever dark side allies evaded an attack, they gain offense up for 1 turn. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Not worth it at all. These, you're going to get tilted because you're going to try to re-roll the level 3 that you want, and you're going to get all of these because it doesn't have the higher win rate or the higher RNG rate of pulling. So those are literally meant there to tilt you and get you mad when re-rolling. You never want to get one of those. It's not going to come into handy, but... And look at that, guys. We just got a sub mid-recording. Thank you to Mario Marquez for the sub on YouTube. But with that out of the way, let's move on to the level 6s. Starting out with First Order. God damn. I thought that the First Order misery was going to end with Darkseid Ray. But nope. CG wants to instill more First Order down our throats to get tilted with. And it's very strong. They have 2 very strong level 6s. The first one is going to be what you hear me call for the next couple months, the wordy level 6. So, the wordy level 6 reads, if all allies are first order at the start of battle, first order allies gain damage immunity for 2 turns. Whenever a first order ally is critically hit, all first order allies gain 10% critical damage, stacking up to 50%. You mix that up with a bunch of crit damage stats, it's dangerous. Whenever a first order ally attacks out of turn, all first order allies gain 10% offense, max to 50% until the end of the counter. They have a mass swarm ability, they have Hux that has that, so very dangerous, extremely annoying. Starting with damage immunity for 2 turns is ridiculous. It's tilting. It could cause an issue with the JML counter because if they have damage immunity and you can't hit them, it's very annoying. That's going to be your go-to for a first order team. But there's still a very good one. This one can just be used just as well. Whenever a first order ally has full health and protection at the start of their turn, they deal 100% more damage on their turn. This could be insanely manipulated on offense to your advantage. You can have Hux pass the turn to Rey, and then she deals 100% more damage with her true damage ability. That's pretty scary and dangerous. I don't know if it's going to be as strong as the Kron we're working with right now. I hope it's not. Freaking can't stand that thing. It's been tilting me up to no end. But we still have to deal with them, guys. We still have to deal with Darkside Rey and First Order for the next couple months with this Datacron. Then we're going to talk about, in the decent, whenever a First Order ally defeats an enemy, they take a bonus turn. This could be pretty, situational if you have Kylo constantly, taking turns and killing many characters over and over and over. But I still don't think it's ever going to outweigh the other two. But it's still, it's a decent Datacron to have, especially with Kylo on your team, but not going to outweigh the other ones. The next decent one is whenever a First Order ally stuns an enemy, they gain speed up and offense up for 2 turns. And inflict expose for 2 turns at the end of the turn, which cannot be evaded. Now, the reason this is decent, it's never, ever going to outweigh the other 3, ever. But Kylo does have a stun, so giving him speed up and offense up is pretty nice to have. The expose is okay, it can't be evaded, but Kylo can do a bunch of different stuns, so he's going to be constantly getting those buffs, but it's just never, ever going to come into play compared to the top 2, but it's still a decent Datacron for the First Order team. And the only bad one I have, guys, and this might be controversial, but I think it's a waste, is going to be whenever an enemy is defeated by a First Order ally, that enemy can't be revived. A majority of the time, the enemy is going to be taken out by Kylo, and he has an anti-revive in his kit already. If Kylo defeats an enemy, they're not able to get revived. So, this could come in handy if maybe Darkside Rey gets a kill or Sith Trooper, but I just don't think that happens very often. I think for the majority of the battle, Kylo is the one that's completely destroying everyone. So that's why I'm putting it in the bad. And that is going to wrap up the First Order Level 6, guys. Let's go on to the next faction. The next faction we're going to talk about are the Pirates. And I know how we feel about this faction. Not the most exciting, but they're here to stay. And there's a brand new GL we got to talk about. So we need to discuss it. There's 2 clear winners for me this set. And one of them is the clear winner for Hondo. Pirate King Hondo Ohnaka. And this will be the wordy Pirate 6 that we say for the season. Because I'm not reading this every Grand Arena match. I'm not going to say the whole thing. This is the wordy Pirate 6. It reads, if all allies are pirates at the start of the encounter, pirate allies gain 3 stacks of profit. When pirate allies have 15 or more combined stacks of profit, which they're going to have immediately, pirate attacker allies gain stealth for 1 turn whenever they are critically hit. Pretty good. Whenever a pirate ally, a tank ally uses an ability, all other pirate allies are called to assist. Very good. You're getting a mass swarm with Vayne whenever Vayne takes a turn. That's pretty good. And also, quick hold. Next one. Whenever a pirate support or healer ally is inflicted with a debuff, all pirate allies recover 5% health and protection. You guys know me. Banner recovery is muy bien. Whenever a pirate ally consumes a stack of profit, all pirate allies gain 5% defense, max health, max protection, and offense, stacking until 150% for the rest of the encounter. That is very good. That's just going to increase the scaling. They're going to scale every time they consume a profit stack. So if your Hondo does his second special, he's consuming 10 stacks of profit. That's going to be a bunch of buffs and stats for your team. So that is the clear winner for the set, for the Pirates. That's the one you want to go for if you have Pirate King Hondo Ohnaka. The second one that is very good in almost every single meta is going to be at the start of each turn. If non-Galactic Legend Pirate allies have 50% or more turn meter, damage they receive is reduced by 75% until the end of the counter. That's pretty tough. It's pretty annoying. Your damage is mitigated. You don't want that to happen. If you guys don't have Hondo unlocked, and you have like a bunch of other pirates, that one's pretty good to have because they're going to be hit way less hard and it might cause potential timeouts. Very annoying. The one I have in decent is going to be whenever a pirate ally damages all enemies with an ability, they grant tenacity up for 2 turns on all allies. The reason I'm putting this in the decent category is because I'm thinking of 2 specific pirates that can do this on separate teams. Enfys Nest and Sanasaros have 2 AoE abilities, or they both have an AoE ability each. So, first off, Sana has a level 9 that grants fear to the enemy team on an AoE, so that's pretty good. And Nest has a AoE that's going to hit all enemies. Tenacity up is one of the best buffs in this game. Being able to stop your opponent from landing a debuff is massive, so I do think it's situational and decent, but it's not going to be your go-to for a full pirate team. Only those 2 characters that I listed. Next up is going to be whenever a pirate ally inflicts a debuff on an enemy during their turn, they deal bonus damage equal to 10% of that enemy's max health, which cannot be evaded. That was very good with the Rebel Fighter Datacron. I don't think it's going to ever outweigh the other 2 that are in the Strong, but it could be situational. The extra damage is nice if they're inflicting debuffs. Like Quiggold has an AoE blind and tenacity down, so that is pretty good for him. But again, I don't think that's ever going to outweigh the one that gives a bunch of different stats. And the only bad one for the pirate one, in my opinion, is whenever pirate allies stagger or stun an enemy, they deal bonus damage equal to 35% of the enemy's max health, which cannot be evaded. I don't think they have many stuns in their kit, to be honest with you. There might be a couple characters that do it. Like Vayne has a stun, but it's never going to be worth it. Ever going to be worth it from the ones we've listed previously. So don't worry about that one. That's the one you're going to want to reroll. That's going to conclude the pirate level 6s, guys. Let's move on to unaligned force users. Unaligned force users, this is one of the best factions in the entire game, and this is going to be used on many different squads. So this one's going to be pretty fun. Again, this will be referred to as the wordy unaligned force user cron for the remainder of the season. This is a repeat that we've had previously. This is the strong one. Whenever, this is what it reads. Whenever a dark side or light side unaligned force user critically hits an enemy, dispel all debuffs on themselves and gain 5% turn meter. Whenever a dark side or light side unaligned force user ally uses a special ability against an enemy with at least 3 debuffs, reduce that enemy's max health by 5%. Whenever a dark side or light side unaligned force user uses a special ability when they have at least 3 buffs that can be dispelled, gain 5% max health. It's amazing. You're weakening the enemy's max health, you're gaining max health. It's a very strong mechanic. You're dispelling all debuffs on themselves, you're gaining turn meter. I really like this level 6, and it makes unaligned force users a very pesky, annoying team to deal with. The next one I'm putting in the strong is going to be whenever an unaligned force user ally critically hits an enemy during their turn, that ally gains 10% offense stacking for 2 turns. I'm thinking specifically for Malicos and Starkiller, because Malicos has the chance of taking a bonus turn. So he could land a crit, his offense is going to get ramped up even more, and he's going to be throwing rocks a tremendous amount. So I think it's situational. I don't think it's ever going to outweigh the wordy one. But with those characters specifically, I think it's pretty strong. Grand Inquisitor has an AoE, he can ramp his offense up by 10% for those 2 turns. Reva has an AoE, can critically hit. That's a lot of offense. There's a lot of AoEs with the Inquisitor team or unaligned force users where you can do an AoE and ramp up your offense for the 2 turns. I kind of like it. That's why I think it's kind of strong. The decent one is the first time each unaligned force user ally falls below 50% health, they gain damage immunity for 1 turn and they gain health steal up. This could be pretty annoying. This could be pretty annoying to deal with because they're going to get a damage immunity buff, which means you can't kill them or target them. If you don't have a buff to spell on your team, this could be pretty annoying. And honestly, it's borderline kind of strong. But I just don't think it ever will outweigh the other 2. I do like the extra offense better. But still, it can be pretty annoying to deal with. The next decent one is whenever an unaligned force user ally deals damage to an enemy and no other enemy is ability blocked, inflict ability block for 1 turn on the target enemy, which cannot be evaded or resisted. This one's always pretty obnoxious to deal with. The problem is that there is a way stronger one for the set, so it's never going to come into factor. But being able to apply ability block that can't be resisted or evaded is nice to have. It's nice to have. You can possibly shut down Sith Eternal. So if Sith Eternal is going to do a solo situation and they have this Datacron, he really can't do much. He's not going to be able to do his ultimate ability if he's ability blocked. You're going to have to bring in Wat Tambor in order to cleanse it. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you're trying to do Sith Eternal against a team that has this, no bueno. The last one I think is going to be bad is whenever enemies are damaged at the start of their turn, Unaligned force user allies gain 2% turn meter. So, how are they taking damage at the start of their turn? Are they going to have dots? Are they going to have burning? I know 8th Brother has burning, so I don't think it's ever going to really come into play. I'm not a big fan of this one for the unaligned force users, so it's the only one in the bad category for me. That is going to wrap up all of the faction level 6s, guys. Let's move on to the character 9s. Starting with the character level 9s, it's going to be first order, and there's one that's not listed that we're going to talk about later. But if you guys don't get that one, the one strong one on the set is going to be Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. And it reads, whenever Supreme Leader Kylo Ren has 100 or more stacks of Siphon, he ignores stealth and taunt during his turn. For every 20 stacks of Siphon he has, first order allies gain 10% defense and 10% health steal, max to 200% until the end of the counter. It's pretty nice to have. It just, the problem I'm having with it, compared to the other one we're going to talk about later, is that it takes time for him to get to 100 Siphon. So if you use him on offense or you use Hux, he does his, poke ability twice. That's 80 Siphon. But he's got to do it a third time. He's got to get into ultimate. It's going to take you time to get there. You kind of want to start out with those buffs immediately. So that's why it is very strong, but it's not the best of the set. But that one's the best as of right now for the first order. I have a couple decent ones. One of them is going to be Kylo Ren Unmasked. At the start of Kylo Ren Unmasked turn, dispel all debuffs on themselves. They recover 5% health for each debuff dispelled this way. This is pretty much a cleanse, so even when he's debuffed or he's stunned, he's going to take a turn, and he can land his stun. That's pretty nice to have. It's pretty nice to have. I don't think it's going to outweigh anything for an unaligned force user team, so if you put Crew on an unaligned force user team and he has this, I don't think it'd be worth it, but still, if you want to throw him on a different team, and you want him to get a cleanse, could have some use. The next decent one is the Revive for First Order Stormtrooper. The first time First Order Stormtrooper is defeated, they are revived with 100% health, gain protection over time for 2 turns, and take a bonus turn. Having a Revive on your tank is nice to have. I don't think it's going to change much for the team, but it's still, if you guys don't pull that Supreme Leader Kylo Ren one or the other one, this could be potentially annoying, and he also has a very annoying unique ability where he calls allies to assist, so that means faster ultimate. It could be pretty annoying. The next decent one I'm thinking of is Kylo Ren Masked, the original one. Whenever another ally uses an ability on their turn, Kylo Ren assists, limit once per turn, dealing 50% more damage. I could see this being actually pretty useful in like TW, if you're using a Traya team with Kylo Ren Masked, and you want your, characters to call him to assist more, dealing more damage. I could potentially see that being pretty annoying or pretty strong, but in terms of Grand Arena, I don't think that's going to make a Kylo team any better, to be honest with you, so not going to recommend it for a Supreme Leader Kylo Ren team, but possibly in TW. 2 bad ones, in my opinion. 2 very bad ones. The first one is First Order Executioner. He's going to gain 5% max of the protection per relic amplifier level, and the damage they receive is decreased by 15%. The problem is that this character is bad. So, just because he's going to get a little more tanky and receive less damage, it's not going to make him any less or more impactful. He's still a bad character. You don't want to get this one. It's never going to have a use. The next bad one is going to be General Hux. Whenever another ally attacks during General Hux's turn, General Hux and that ally gain 25% turn meter. The problem with this is that turn meter gain for Kylo means he's losing his max health. You don't really want that, and it's never going to outweigh the other Datacrons in the strong category and the other category we're going to talk about. So those are the 2 bad ones for the First Order. That's going to wrap up the First Order, guys. Next one's going to be Pirates. Speaking of the Pirates, we got to talk about the best one for the Pirates this set, Captain Silvo. This is going to be your go-to for new Pirate King Hano Onaka unlockers that have him. This is going to be your go-to for him. Whenever Captain Silvo removes turn meter from an enemy, he recovers 20% max health and protection, 20% health and protection, and resets the cooldown of a random pirate ally. He's able to remove turn meter on his second special, and he's going to be healing himself and resetting the cooldown of a pirate. That's pretty good to have. I mean, they have some pretty good abilities. So imagine you're able to reduce the cooldowns on Hondo. He can do 2 mass swarms in a row. That's nice to have. I like it. I think it's going to be pretty strong for the Pirates and for Hondo this season. So that's going to be the one you see on Grand Arena for all the new pirate owners. The next one in the strong is Sanastaros. And I know what you guys are thinking. I don't know where to use her, but I think she'll have a use for a character coming down the line. It reads, whenever Sanastaros uses a basic ability, she gains protection up 50% stacking for 2 turns. And 50% turn meter. Whenever Sandstorm damages an enemy with a special ability, inflict fear for 1 turn on the enemy, which cannot be evaded or resisted. So she has an AoE ability. That's practically an AoE fear. That's how I'm reading it. AoE fear is nice. This could be potentially used on a Maz Kanata team down the line as a 5th for that team. We don't know yet, but I like it. I like it. An AoE fear is good to have. She's going to be gaining turn meter, gaining protection up, so that means more potential to do an AoE fear later on. It's not bad. I like it. I think it's pretty strong. The only decent one, which has the potential to be strong, is going to be Hondo Onaka. This is a repeat. I think this is going to be possibly used on a mercenary team. Whenever Hondo Onaka uses a basic ability, he gains 9 additional stack of ransom and protection up 100% stack every 2 turns and reduces his cooldowns by 1. I've seen this in the past. It's very obnoxious. He's going to be able to pretty much not ever flee the battle if he takes a basic during his turn after putting someone under captive. It pretty much guarantees he's safe. So very good to have. I don't think it's a game changer for anything, but still pretty annoying. There's 3 bad ones, and the Quick Hold could be considered a decent one if you want to strip banners, but we'll see. Quick Hold. Whenever Quick Hold is dealt damage, reflect 20% of the damage back onto the attacker as true damage. Can't be evaded. Enemy can't be defeated. This damage can't defeat enemies. Banner stripping is the way to go. I like it. I just think the Silvo one is better, and I also think the Santosaurus one could potentially work with the Maz Kanata team. I don't know yet. If it doesn't, Quick Hold is going to be the one you're going to want to go for. But this is good for stealing banners. But if you get rid of Quick Hold first, and then you work around the team, you have potential to get those banners back. So that's why I'm putting it in the bad. Next up, Enfys Nest. Just this one's bad, unfortunately. Whenever Enfys Nest stuns an enemy, Enfys Nest gains 10% crit damage, stacking up to 200%, and 5 speed up to 50 speed until the end of the encounter. She's got 1 move that has a stun. It's her middle special, so it's not going to really do much. It's just going to take way too long to ramp, and it's just not worth it. And the next bad one, and I don't think it's going to be worth it, is going to be whenever another ally recovers protection, Brutus gains Foresight for 1 turn. He's already going to be under stealth if you have the Wordy level 6. I just don't think it's going to be as good as this Captain Silva one, honestly. I like the cooldown reset on the Pirate ally and the health and protection recovery. So that's why I'm considering it bad. I know a lot of players might find this to be better. The Foresight can be annoying, but is it going to really change certain matchups? I don't know. I'd rather get the Silva one. That's why it's in the bad category, guys. That's wrapping up Pirates. Unaligned Forces level 9s are next. This one was tough to fit on this graphic. A lot of information, a lot of tough stuff. Very hard to fit, but we made it work. So if it's tiny, I apologize, but I'm going to read it out. There's a couple strong ones, and they all go on separate teams. I like it. The strongest one for the unaligned forces of this set is going to be Ray. GL Ray. The first time each turn, Ray gains ultimate charge. They gain an additional 6% ultimate charge. She's going to be ulting twice as fast. She's going to have ult up like probably on turn 2 or turn 3 possibly. It's insane. Absolutely insane. The counter to this that could be a potential weakness is less whirlwinds. So I want you to keep that in mind. It could make certain counters tougher, but it could also make certain counters easier. So if you have this, she's going to be ulting way harder, but you could potentially make the whirlwinds not happen. I could see this potentially causing timeouts in certain game modes like TW, but I think this one is one of the best of the unaligned force users this set. The next one, Seer Junda. I like this one a lot. Whenever Seer Junda uses a basic ability on their turn, other allies gain 25% turn meter. So she's not really using her special abilities that often. Yeah, her middle one does damage immunity, but for the most part, her basic is very strong to begin with. It's granting buffs to her team. Now you're giving them turn meter. So I do like this for unaligned force users, and I'm looking to get this very quickly once Datacron start to come out. It's going to be a very good level 9. Next is CLS, and this is a repeat. I think this one's going to be better in 3v3 than 5v5. Whenever Commander Luke Skywalker damages an enemy with a special ability and the enemy doesn't have Armor Shred, inflict Armor Shred on them for the rest of the battle. Whenever Commander Luke uses a basic ability and damages an enemy with Armor Shred, inflict Expose for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. And Commander Luke Skywalker gains protection up, 50% stacking for 2 turns. I remember this being way more annoying in 3v3 than 5v5. I've even seen some players back in the day, now that I think about it, putting CLS on an unaligned forces team, and this causing some issues. So Armor Shreds are great It's not considered a debuff. I made a video about it, but it is considered a status or something. So Armor Shred's great. Reducing the armor means more damage susceptibility to them. So this one is still a very strong Datacron. Now, the two I put in the decent. I put Fulcrum in the decent category because I think in specifically TW, this could be pretty strong. Whenever Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum gains Retribution, they also gain 10% defense and health steal stacking and 10 speed, as well as 10 speed until the end of the encounter. She will get Retribution every time she does her middle special, and she's able to get a bonus turn after doing it, so she could ramp this up pretty quickly. I mean, she's not going to be able to hit 20 in a battle, but every time she does it, and you're having a heart like this on a raid team, possibly in TW, could be strong. If you don't deal with Fulcrum quick enough, she could potentially ramp up her damage and get some one-shots going. Or not one-shots, but she could just take a lot of speed, take a lot of turns, and be very tanky, so it's still decent. It's not the strongest of the set, but it could have a use. Next up is Ben Solo. And this is whenever Ben Solo deals damage to an enemy, remove 25% turn meter from that enemy. It's not bad, but the problem is that it can be resisted. I feel like Ben Solo already doesn't take that many turns to begin with on a race squad. He's either stunned or locked, and he does a basic, and his cooldowns are increased. So I don't think it's going to be a game changer. Maybe in some situations you'll remove turn meter, but again, I don't think it's going to be the one you want to go for. I think Rey's going to be the one you want to go for, so that's why it's decent. And the only bad one is Visas Mar, in my honest opinion, and it sucks because she's a KOTOR character, and I love KOTOR, but she's the worst one of the unaligned Force users. Whenever Visas Mar attacks at a turn, they recover 20% health and protection, and all other allies with Retribution assist. I don't know what this is going to change anything, guys. I don't think it's going to change any other matchup, so it's bad. I don't recommend it. That's going to wrap up the unaligned Force users, guys, and all the level 9s. We have one more category to talk about, the regular Datacron set, and it's the OP category, the one you want to go for, the best Datacron of the set. Let's talk about it. The clear winner for the set, for the best Datacron, is going to be Special Forces TIE Pilot for the First Order faction. Is by far the best of the set. It's a repeat of what we've had previously, and it's going to be very annoying to deal with, but also very good on offense. It's very long, but I'm going to read the whole thing for you. First Order Special Forces TIE Pilot has 100% potency. While allied with Kylo Ren, Supreme Leader, TIE Pilot can't be defeated. While First Order allies have advantage, they ignore taunt. I mean, they already can with Darkside Rey, I believe, so this could be good in other game modes, but that's for Grand Arena Omicron. Whenever the ally in the leader slot, or Special Forces TIE Pilot, is damaged while they have advantage, stun the enemy for 1 turn, which cannot be resisted. Very strong. Whenever an enemy is stunned, TIE Pilot's abilities gain 5% bonus damage, up to 200% stacking. He and the ally in the leader slot gain 10% max health until the end of the encounter, and if the ally in the leader slot is Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, he gains 5% ultimate charge. Whenever a stunned enemy is defeated, they can't be revived. The ally in the leader slot gains a bonus turn, and the allied leader and Special Forces TIE Pilot recover 100% health and protection. Very broken. Extremely broken. So strong. First Order are still here causing issues. I cannot stress how annoying this is going to be. I don't think it's going to be as annoying as the Darkside Raycron, but CG definitely has something going on with First Order and Darkside Ray this season, because this guy is going to cause nothing but problemos, so I'm not looking forward to it. It's a very good level 9. It's going to be the one that I go for immediately, and I highly recommend that you guys go for it too first. So that is going to conclude the regular Datacron set, guys. We're now going to start to talk about the focus Datacron. So let's go into the top 4 and start with 4th place. Okay, focus Datacron time. Time to talk about it. Let's see what we're dealing with. 4th place. It's got to be the Jawa one, guys. Jawa Engineer. Specifically because of the abilities. The stats are pretty good, actually. The offense, the armor pen, and 70% health and crit avoidance are actually very good. I do like this specifically for the stats. But I think the 3, 6, and 9 are not going to make an impact. They sound pretty good, but Jawas are just such a bad faction. I'm sorry. They're just not good. I don't think they're going to make it on the board for Kyber 1. But I will read it. It sounds good on paper. At the start of the battle, Jawa allies gain 100% bonus protection until the end of the encounter, and all enemies are inflicted with Provoke for 2 turns, which can't be evaded or resisted. Whenever a Jawa ally inflicts a debuff on an enemy, all Jawa allies gain Foresight for 1 turn. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with a Thermal Detonator, Jawa allies gain 10% defense and offense stacking until 300%. That's pretty high. At the start of each turn, if a Jawa ally has 50% or less health, damage they receive is reduced by 75%. That's not bad. That's not bad. Whenever an enemy takes damage from a thermal detonator expiring, which cannot be evaded, Jawa allies recover 5% health protection, gain 5% turn meter, and that enemy is inflicted with an additional thermal detonator for 1 turn, which cannot be dispelled or evaded or resisted. It's a very strong level 3, I'll admit it. It's very strong. But, like, do you guys want to gear up your Jawas for this Datacron? Like, the faction is so useless. Unless you got, like, the Lightspeed bundle or whatever. I'm pretty sure there was a Jawa Lightspeed bundle. Unless you got that, and then, sure, this could maybe find some use somewhere. Maybe in 3v3 more than 5v5. The board is too small in Kyber 1 for this to make the board. But it sounds pretty good, the level 3. The level 6. Whenever Chief Nebbit calls allies to assist, he recovers 10% health and protection for each ally that assists. And other Jawa allies recover 5% health and protection. Whenever an enemy is inflicted with a thermal detonator, there's a 50% chance to inflict an additional thermal detonator for 2 turns. Again, it sounds good on paper. The problem is it's Jawas. It's Jawas. I don't see them making the board. And the level 9. At the start of each of Jawa Engineer's turns, they reset their cooldowns and lose 5% health. For each turn, each ability was reduced. Jawa Engineer cannot be defeated this way. So he's going to pretty much have all his cooldowns up all the time. Any other faction, this would be pretty good. Pretty good. It's in 4th place for me. Doesn't mean it's bad. But the stats are the winner for me for this Datacron. The offense, the armor pen, and the health, and the crit avoid are very nice to have. So that's why I'm going to be going for it. But it's my 4th place Crom. That is 4th. Let's move on to 3rd place. The 3rd place Datacron is going to be Iden Versio. And that doesn't mean it's going to be bad. I just think the other 2 are the clear better ones. The stats here are pretty good. I like the 80% health. The potency is okay. The defense is alright. Crit damage and crit chance are nice to have, but I do like the health. The level 3 is whenever Darkside allies use a special ability, they gain evasion up, health steal up, and health up. Also, all very annoying buffs. They do a lot of special abilities on this team. It can be used on any team in the game. So, you can use this on a Malgus team, this Datacron. So, picture Malgus with 80% health and health up. That's a lot of damage for Malgus. I just want to keep that in mind. That's a good Datacron for him. The level 6 is for Imperial Troopers. Whenever Imperial Trooper allies are revived, they gain 25% turn meter, protection over time for 2 turns, and reduce their cooldowns by 1. All allies recover 50% health and protection, dispel all buffs on all enemies, and inflict buff immunity on them for 2 turns. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good level 6. So, Imperial Troopers, we could see some crazy combinations. I don't know. I do like it. The level 9 is for Stormtrooper. Whenever Stormtrooper is dealt damage, reflect 50% of the damage dealt back onto the attacker as true damage, which cannot be evaded. This damage can't defeat enemies. So this is 50% of the damage reflected, not 25, or whatever it is for the previous ones. 50% is pretty high. That's a lot of damage. So if you hit him pretty hard, 50% of that's coming back to you. So if you're going to deal with Stormtrooper, you better get rid of him pretty fast. The level 12, this one's pretty good. The first time Range Trooper is defeated, if there is at least one other active ally, revive all other defeated allies, and other allies recover 100% health protection, gain 100% turn meter, and 100% offense until the end of the battle. I'm curious if this level 12 could be, used in other teams. It could be potentially used in other teams because he's pretty squishy, Range Trooper. And it's not a lot of defensive stats on this Datacron that is going to save him. I mean, obviously, the health and defense are nice, but Range Trooper is a squishy character, so you could potentially see some plug-and-play options with this level 3. I don't want you guys to think, just because this is in 3rd place, that it's a bad focus Datacron. It's just, I think the other 2 are better, but the level 12 here is pretty good. And the level 15, I believe, is a repeat that we've seen in the past. At the start of the encounter, Iden taunts, which cannot be dispelled or prevented until she is defeated. Whenever another non-droid Imperial Trooper is defeated, she taunts, which cannot be dispelled or prevented until she is defeated. That's pretty good for her because she can constantly revive. And she's got a lot of counter chance, and she hits extremely hard. So, if you don't have the right counter, and she keeps reviving, and you don't have enough damage, that's a potential timeout, and she's going to hit hard. So, it's actually really good. I'm curious if this is going to make the board in Kyber 1. I don't know. Maybe in Kyber 2, Kyber 3. But the board, again, is so small. Maybe in 3v3 we see it, but I think the other focus Datacron is going to help counter this one. That's the thing. So, as far as it goes, the stats are pretty good. The 6, the 9, the 12 all pretty interesting. I kind of like this one a lot, but I think it's the clear third place winner. Now, with that out of the way, let's go on to second place. Second place is going to be Admiral Trench, and I think it's going to be very strong. It's going to be really good in Territory War, but it's a little bit of a repeat of the previous set. The stats aren't bad; they're kind of scattered. It's not like specific into one. It's all like a bunch of different stats. 30% offense, 55% health, 50 armor pen, 30 defense, 55 crit avoid, 20% potency, and 35% crit damage. It's just scattered. It's scattered. The level 3 is for Separatists. At the end of their turn, Separatist allies gain defense pen and defense pen up and offense up per one turn. Those are good. Those are good buffs. You can increase your damage. Defense pen is pretty good to have. It helps get through their defense. Offense is great. Pair that with the 30% offense. Pretty good to have. The level 6, whenever an enemy is stunned, Count Dooku takes a bonus turn. So, the thing with this is that Dooku could potentially, like, take constant bonus turns. That's the problem. This was almost first. This was almost first. I'm telling you. He can take... I mean, this could be a potential crazy loop, I'm thinking, right? He can stun on a basic. He can stun on his first special. So, I'm worried that this could be a potential loop. I mean, you know what I mean? Whenever an enemy is stunned, Count Dooku takes a bonus turn. What if he keeps stunning enemies with his basic ability? That could be a potential endless loop. Unless it's, like, limited to one per turn, which I don't think it is. The Dooku 6 is a potential problem. It really could be a potential problem. So, he can stun on a basic, and he can stun on his first special. We have to see the loop mechanic. It could be an endless loop. We'll find out. The level 9 is New Gunnery. Whenever New Gunnery gains 15% turn meter when other allies use a special ability on their turn. So, that's good to have. More extortions, more cooldown increases, more mass swarms. All very good for the Trench team. I like it. The level 12, Jango Fett. Whenever another ally uses an ability on their turn, Jango Fett assists, dealing 50% more damage. I like it. So if you stack this with a level 6, and Dooku's constantly stunning the enemy, and he's constantly getting called to assist, that is pretty good. I think you're going to see some big things from this team, I'm not going to lie. Very close to being number 1. The 15, for Admiral Trench. Non-droid Separatist allies start the encounter with Tactical Supremacy for 2 turns. That's a good buff. Whenever Separatist allies gain a stack of heal over time, they gain 5% critical chance, max to 200%. That's kind of overkill, but pretty good for the rest of the encounter. Whenever Separatist allies gain a stack of protection over time, they gain 5% defense stacking for 200% till the end of the encounter. Whenever Admiral Trent uses a basic ability, call all other allies with their post to assist. Whenever Trent shocks an enemy, he gains protection up for 1 turn. Pretty strong, guys. Pretty strong. All of these kind of mesh very well together. I'm kind of very excited for the Trench team this season. I'm genuinely curious to how this level 6 is going to work with Dooku, because I feel like it could be a potential loop, especially if you have him modded for a little bit of potency and those stuns are guaranteed to hit, or if they even just hit at all. It's going to be pretty good for you. Pretty good. So that is going to be the second place Datacron. It's so close to being number 1. But I just think number 1 is going to be really, really good and very cheesable and doing some crazy mechanic stuff. So let's go right to it. And for first place, it's going to be Admiral Raddus. And I'm going to explain why at the end. But I think this one has the potential to really cheese out some really hard counters. First of all, the stats. The stats are pretty good, but nothing extra special. You gain 50% health, 20% defense, 55% tenacity. I like the 75% crit damage. It's pretty good. 25% crit chance, 50% armor pen, and 25% health steal. All around, just a bunch of different stats. It's not really heavily inflated into one. It's all scattered. The level 3 is pretty interesting. Light side allies have a 100% critical chance when attacking out of turn. This is very similar to Rolo. It's not as strong, but it could be used on any light side team. It could be even GLs. So, light side allies will have a guaranteed crit when they attack out of turn. Pretty much. 100% crit chance is almost a guaranteed crit. So, very strong. The level 6 is for the Rogue One faction. At the start of each Rogue One ally's turn, If they have not taken damage since the last turn, they gain critical chance up and offense up for 1 turn. Situational, but still nice to have those buffs. The level 9 is for Jin Urso. Whenever Jin Urso critically hits an enemy, Jin Urso gains 10% crit damage, defense pen, and offense stacking until the end of the battle. The thing with this is that she's not a really big damage dealer. And she does have a AoE ability that could crit. And tied in with the level 6 and the level 3, you could probably get a bunch of crits with her. She's almost guaranteed to crit on a basic or when she's called to assist. So maybe Jin's a damage dealer this season. We'll see. The K2SO level 12. Pretty good. Whenever K2SO attacks at a turn, K2SO deals 150% bonus damage, inflicts offense down and healing immunity for 1 turn on all enemies, which cannot be evaded or resisted. That's a very strong ability. Whenever K2SO loses taunt, which is a bunch, it happens a lot, removes 50% turn meter from all enemies, inflicts blind on them for 2 turns, which cannot be evaded or resisted. That's an amazing ability. I don't think that bounty hunters are going to be able to take care of this team on defense. I really don't. So it's a very strong level 12. You're going to have to think out of the box for different counters. And the level 15, which I think is going to be the best level 15 of the set. At the start of the encounter, if Admiral Radis is in the leader slot and all other allies are Rogue 1, inflict defense down and expose for 2 turns on all enemies, which cannot be evaded or resisted. Whenever Admiral Radis uses a basic ability, he calls another random Rogue 1 ally to assist. That ties in very good with the level 3, because they're going to be guaranteed to crit. Admiral Radis cannot be defeated while K2SO is active. It's that right there. You have the potential to do some crazy stuff. So, Radis can't get taken down, or Jin can't be defeated if Radis is active, and now Radis can't be defeated if K2SO is active. It's like a crazy trio of, like, the AI is going to have to play perfect in order to defeat your Rogue One team. So that's why I think it's number 1, because it has the potential to do some crazy stuff on offense and cause a bunch of headaches on defense. So I do think that this one is number 1. It was for that reason why I put it over Trench. It was between Trench and Radis for me, but the level 15 for here, potentially cheesing out the AI on defense and offense, is pretty strong to have, and that's why it's the clear number 1 for me in the set. And also the level 3 can work on a number of different light side teams. So that is going to wrap up the Focus Datacron for review, with Jawa Engineer in 4th, Iden 3rd, Trench as a close 2nd, and Radis as number 1. So I hope you guys found this useful. I got one more slide for you guys. It's going to be my Datacron cheat sheet that I'm going to post on my Discord, and hopefully it helps you out. And here we go. Vexatron's Datacron Set 24 cheat sheet, where I'm going to be recommending all of these Datacrons for all these specific teams. And I will, for a second, hide my webcam so you guys can get a full picture of this. If you guys want the full thing, like I said, please go into my Discord. It'll be posted there if you guys want to share it with your guilds and help you throughout the season for your Datacron farming. But pretty much, I'm recommending Special Forces TIE Pilot as the best one for the season, with Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. It shows you the level 3, the level 6. You got your Silva, you got your Rey, your Seer, your Sana, your CLS, your Enfys Nest, your Quiggold, and your Fulcrum. Pretty much try to use all the separate ones that you might want to use for different factions. Doesn't mean they're necessarily the ones you want to have. Like the Nest one is very situational, but pretty much going from left to right, those are all the ones that you want in importance, I think. But that's just my opinion. It shows you the Focus Datacron order and my recommendation, and also the best level 3s and 6s for the set. So guys, that is going to wrap up the Datacron Set 24 review. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned a bunch of different things. And please, 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 I love your feedback. Your feedback is crucial for this. Leave it all in the comment section down below. Do you guys agree with the list? Are there things you don't agree with? Do you think the cheat sheet's a good idea? Is there anything on the cheat sheet that you don't agree with? Leave it all down below. Please let Vexatron know. Let your boy Vex know what you're thinking. So guys, that's going to wrap up this video. Leave a like, comment down below, and if you're not already, subscribe to the channel to become a Knight of Vex. And I'll see you guys in the next video. May the Force be with you all.